What up guys, MyLong6 here, and if you're watching this video is because you want to know how to file your cryptocurrency taxes, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that with my own personal preferred method with Blockpit and TurboTax. If you don't know what Blockpit is, it's an amazing website that allows you to keep track of all your wallets and exchanges all in one place, and it is free to use. You only have to pay when you want to print out a tax report. And if you use my link in the description, then you will get 15% off your first crypto tax package on Blockpit. Now in this video, I'm going to assume that you already went through Blockpit and have connected all your wallets and exchanges, as well as you have already classified everything and you've already done everything on Blockpit that you need to. And now you've printed your tax report and you're ready to upload it to TurboTax. So if you have any questions about Blockpit, please contact support@blockpit.io. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, then you know that I used to advertise Accointing. However, Accointing was recently acquired and merged with Blockpit. Now, I personally think that they are better with German taxes, actually, after looking into it, but they do a great job for US taxes as well. Now, you may be asking, why do I know all this? And it's because I used to work for Accointing actually as a support agent. And then I also worked with Blockpit for a little bit during the migration. However, once the merge from Accointing and Blockpit were finalized, I decided that I wasn't going to work for Blockpit. Now, they did offer me a job. I just decided not to take it because I wanted to work in the family business with my brother, and I'm hoping to become a full-time YouTuber. Now guys, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not a financial advisor at all. I have been working with CPAs and stuff to make this video. However, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy on YouTube sharing about your 2023 tax return, and tax laws could change in 2024, 2025. So if you need further help with your crypto taxes, more than I can provide you in this video, then definitely go check out CryptoTaxAudit. Their link will be in the description. I've worked with David Canito, their senior manager there at CryptoTaxAudit, and I know that he does great work. So I trust that they would be able to take care of you if you have any questions about cryptocurrency taxes. So enough with all that, let's actually start filing your taxes. So there are going to be 4 things that you need in order to file your taxes. The first thing you're going to need is your Blockpit tax report. Make sure that it's for the tax return that you're filing. It may be 2024, however, we're filing for 2023's tax return. So the next thing you're going to need is your 1099 miscellaneous and 1099-B tax papers. So let me break these two down for you. So 1099 miscellaneous is something an exchange could give you. Not all exchanges do it, and some exchanges will say that you didn't make enough money in order to receive a 1099 miscellaneous, and that's okay. If you have a 1099 miscellaneous, then it looks something like this. Now, for the purposes of this video, we only care about cryptocurrency 1099 miscellaneous. If you have other 1099 miscellaneouses, then you can deal with that as normal. So what is a 1099? Well, a 1099 reports how much income you receive from like staking rewards, airdrops you may have received, or other income like you receive cryptocurrency in exchange for your service or something like that. Now, the third thing was the 1099-B. This is something that an exchange will give you to show all the trades you have ever made on the exchange for the year. Now, it seems that most exchanges do not give a 1099-B, and it is very possible that an exchange will give a 1099 miscellaneous and a 1099-B because they report different things. 1099-B is basically going to tell you your proceeds and how much you've earned in cryptocurrency while trading, so that way you can pay your capital gains tax. Here's an example of a 1099-B. And the main reason that I'm bringing up a 1099-B, because they're not extremely common with exchanges, is because if you guys know me, my favorite exchange is Uphold. Check out this video if you don't know who they are, and they are my favorite beginner exchange, and they do hand out a 1099-B. And since I advertise Uphold, I figured that a lot of you guys might have a 1099-B, so I wanted to share with you how to do it. Now, if you've gone through all your exchanges and you do not have any 1099s of any kind, that's probably the best case scenario because your taxes are going to be a lot easier. Also, keep in mind that your wallets are not going to be sending you any type of tax papers. So MetaMask or Phantom are not going to be sending you any type of tax papers of any kind whatsoever. And that's why you connect them to Blockpit. Now, keep in mind that if you received 1099 forms from an exchange that is not uploaded to Blockpit, then you can file those completely normally, and you don't need to worry about those 1099s when I talk about them later in this video. The only ones that matter are the ones connected to Blockpit, because if they're not connected to Blockpit, then they won't matter. But you should connect them to Blockpit so that way you have them all in one location. Now, if you have like, let's say Robinhood, and you trade that cryptocurrency on Robinhood or on Venmo/PayPal, then most likely you can just file whatever tax reports they give you, because if you're unable to send your cryptocurrency to a different wallet or exchange, and it is all contained into one exchange like Robinhood does, or at least they used to. They mentioned they might add the ability to send to another exchange in the future, or like PayPal does, where they are all into one area, then you can just file those as normal. Now, you guys know that I'm not a financial advisor. However, I am encouraging that you guys pay your taxes, because the last thing you want is 10 years from now, the IRS audits you and they ask about all this cryptocurrency, because since blockchains are public, maybe in the future they'll have better technology to be able to see that you have not been paying your cryptocurrency taxes. However, it's always up to the individual to pay your taxes, and I suggest that you do. Then you may also think that you didn't make enough money on your crypto in order to report it. However, I would say report it no matter what. And even if it is a loss, you can actually carry that over to next year. You can see that last year on TurboTax, I actually lost almost $2,000, and I was able to carry that over to this year. Fourth and final thing you're going to need is your TurboTax. So now that you've logged into TurboTax, go ahead and do all your other federal taxes. Don't do your state taxes yet. And then find over here wages and income, and then scroll on down to less common income, and then miscellaneous income. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom of this and go to other reportable income and click start. Then go ahead and add another miscellaneous income item. And in the description, put Blockpit Crypto Income. So in order to find this amount, go ahead and open up the Blockpit tax report that you downloaded earlier. From here, scroll on down till you find where it says other income from cryptocurrency inflows in US dollar. Go ahead and take this number, pull out your calculator, paste in the number, then subtract the income reported in your 1099 miscellaneous. Then after you subtract that, take this final number, and that is what you put into TurboTax. After that, go ahead and hit continue. Now, if for some reason you would like to break this down even further, or for whatever reason, you can go ahead and go back to your Blockpit's full report. And then if you scroll down, you will eventually find in the middle of all your reports going to be your cryptocurrency inflow in US dollar. Here it's going to break down your other income that you classified when you were editing Blockpit earlier. So you'll see hard forks, lending income, staking income, master nodes, mining income, bounties, airdrop, security token distribution, and just normal income. And then that number that we found earlier should be right here as well. So now that you inputted your Blockpit crypto income into TurboTax, you can click done. Now let's go back to wages and income. So now we need to file Form 8949, which the Blockpit tax report has provided for you. Go ahead and locate where it says 1099-B. Now it is okay if you don't have any 1099-Bs, but we're going to file Blockpit's tax report Form 8949 as a 1099-B for the purposes of TurboTax, so that way you can upload a file of your Form 8949 to TurboTax, so that way the IRS will have a copy of it. Go ahead and click edit/add, or it might say review. Then go through the prompts. Did you have any crypto income or losses in 2023? Yes. Was the crypto you sold transferred between exchanges and wallets? Now, if you have Blockpit, Blockpit keeps track of all this for you, but we can go ahead and hit yes. Did you buy or sell an NFT? Most likely you did, but if you didn't, click no. Did you receive a reward in the form of crypto? These would be bounties. So most likely you did. Did you participate in DeFi or DAO? If you have a wallet, most likely you did. After answering those questions, go ahead and click continue. Go ahead and select find it manually later, because that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm sharing with you how to take what you already got from Blockpit and put it into TurboTax. After that, go ahead and click add investment. Click continue. Now it's going to ask if you want to automatically import your forms. In this particular case with Blockpit, say no thanks. When you get to this screen, click enter a different way. Then go ahead and click cryptocurrency, because you'll notice 1099-B is right there. And we're not trading stocks and funds. And I know that Uphold allows you to trade precious metals. However, you don't need to select everything. You can just select cryptocurrency and click continue, and that will be good enough, because we are going to send the IRS Form 8949 where they'll have the breakdown of all your precious metal trades, as well as all your cryptocurrency and NFTs. Next, you're going to go ahead and click type it in myself. And that will bring you to this page where you are going to type in your crypto service. Go ahead and put in Blockpit, and then you can leave the other two things blank, and then click continue. Did you get a 1099-B from Blockpit? Go ahead and click yes. I know you didn't get a 1099-B, but you did get Form 8949, and that's what we're going to be pretending is a 1099-B for the purposes of TurboTax, so that way we can upload a file and submit that to the IRS instead of having to mail it. And then do you have more than 3 sales on your 1099-B? Most likely. Did you buy every investment listed in your 1099-B? If you were gifted or mined some crypto or any of this, go ahead and select no. Otherwise, select yes. Did you get any of this crypto from different sources? Since Blockpit has already brought together all of your exchanges, you can go ahead and select no to this question. You would answer yes to this question if you were filing all your 1099-Bs separately. So say you didn't use Blockpit and you're filing your Coinbase cryptocurrencies and your Uphold cryptocurrencies completely separately. That's what this would be for. But you already integrated Blockpit with all of your wallet exchanges. So for the purposes of this question, you can select no. Now you are going to want to select sales selected totals, because you're going to prefer to aggregate it than to type all these out one by one. And besides, that's why we're uploading Form 8949, because that form is going to contain all the sales one by one anyways. And now we're going to need to type in the actual numbers. So let's go ahead and click continue. And that will bring you to this page. And this is where we're going to actually type in our numbers to report our capital gains tax. However, we are going to need to extract this information from Blockpit's full tax report that they sent us. So let's go ahead and head on over to there. Now, if you've already scrolled through this, you know there's a lot of information on here. You got the first page, and that will bring you to the second page which is going to be so nice that it tells you your short-term and long-term capital gains. And this is where you found your income earlier, and there's also your fees and loss. So under this is going to be found your form 8949. And this form is actually what we're going to need to extract from the PDF. But I want to go ahead and walk you through the rest of what's in this full tax report, and then I'll share with you how to extract it. So on the first part of this form, you'll notice that box C is checked, which says short-term transactions not reported to you on a form 1099-B. And then part 2 will have box F checked, which says long-term transactions not reported to you on a form 1099-B. Both of those check boxes will come into play later. And if you're not sure about a short-term or a long-term investment and what that is legally defined as, in the US, a short-term trade is going to be a cryptocurrency or a stock or a different investment that you purchased and you held on to for exactly 1 year or less than 1 year. And a long-term investment would be a cryptocurrency, stock, or other investment that you've held on to for more than 1 year. So after your part 1 and part 2 of your form 8949, it'll bring you to your 1040, which is something you would use if you were going to file your taxes using pen and paper instead of TurboTax. And if you are going to file with pen and paper, don't use this information because most likely you've also traded stock or something like that, and this isn't going to include that information. However, TurboTax would. And then you might also see some blue highlights and stuff. You can skip that. And then it'll bring you to this page, which is something I mentioned earlier. And all this is a breakdown of your cryptocurrency income as reported by Blockpit. And then after that is going to be your overview of holdings and holding changes between 2023, which is essentially going to be every single transaction you've made through Blockpit. The only transactions that I'm aware of that do not appear here are going to be the transactions that you excluded or marked as ignored. And then after that, here is your capital gains and losses summary for 2023, which is important because this will break it down by wallet and exchange, which is going to be very important if you have a 1099-B that we talked about earlier. So you'll see, for example, here it says uphold, and it shows your gains and losses from each exchange, as well as it separates it from short-term losses and gains and long-term losses and gains per wallet or exchange. So if you have a 1099-B, this is the page that you're going to want to look at. So after that would be your capital gains and losses transaction statement 2023, and then other income summary of 2023 broken down by exchange. And then right under that would be the breakdown of it all instead of the summary. And then under that would be your overview of outflows, which are not covered by significant holdings 2023. And after your outflows, you finally come to your notes, which are going to be very useful in case you hired a CPA or something. So that way they know what's going on with this entire tax report. So now that I've walked you through this entire full Blockpit tax report, we are going to need to extract just the form 8949. So in order to extract the form 8949, you're going to want to edit the PDF. If you don't know how to do that, go ahead and go on over to DocHub.com. So after you create your free account, go ahead and click new document up here, and then drag and drop your PDF of Blockpit's full tax report right here. So after it loads, you'll notice that now you have your full Blockpit form right here. If you click up here, the dots, you'll be able to delete pages. Now keep in mind, this is deleting a copy of your PDF. Your PDF should still be saved on your computer, so don't worry about messing this up. So what you want to do is delete the first page and then delete this page as well. Then you're going to want to keep all the 8949 stuff, all of it. So once you get to the last page, go ahead and delete all pages after that. So in order to do that, at least on Windows, is that you click the first one you want to delete, scroll all the way to the bottom, hold down Shift, click and it'll put it all into one, as you can see, and then click the trash button and delete. Now, if you take a look from the very top to the very bottom, all pages are only Form 8949. So now that we have extracted just the Form 8949 from Blockpit, we can go ahead and download this as a new PDF on our computer. So the next thing you're going to want to do is, in part 1, you're going to want to scroll to the bottom and find your totals. And then if you go back to TurboTax, the first thing you're going to want to select is your short-term did not receive 1099-B form, because that matches what box C says on your Form 8949. And then here it wants you to type in your total proceeds, sum of box 1D. So if you go back to your Form 8949, you'll go to box D and then scroll to your totals and go ahead and copy this. This number may be a huge number, It's going to be okay. Go ahead and copy and paste it, and I'll show you later why it's going to be okay. Then after box D, you're going to want to do box E. So go box E, which is right next to box D, and copy and paste this number. Next, you need to select, I need to make adjustment to my total cost basis. Then copy this number. By the way, guys, just to let you know, if a number is in parentheses on Form 8949, that means it is a negative number. So in this case, we'll do negative the amount. And then for the adjustment code, you're going to want to select O for other adjustment not listed, and then click continue. And then you'll be brought back to this page, and you'll see that under gains and loss, there's now a number. You want to make sure this number matches your Form 8949 under box H. At the bottom here, it should match this number. Now, if you have a part 2 of your Form 8949, then you want to add another sales total. Now, keep in mind, if you have a 1099-B, then I will be talking about what to do later. Add another sale total. So this time for part 2, you are wanting to select the sales selection of long-term did not receive 1099-B form, which would be box F on your Form 8949, and then do the same thing. So the next thing we'll need to do is upload the Form 8949 that we extracted earlier from the help of DocHub. After that, you can hit continue. So now that we have taken care of all of that, I would like to take a moment to talk about 1099-Bs if you have one. If you don't have a 1099-B, feel free to skip ahead. So if you have a 1099-B and you want to file it with TurboTax, but you also have other cryptocurrencies that you need to file because you use Blockpit, and Blockpit already contains the exchange that sent you the 1099-B, then this is what you're going to need to do. Now, side note, most exchanges for some reason wait until March 15th to send your 1099-Bs, but be sure to contact the exchanges individually to see if they have already sent you your tax papers or not. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find this on your Blockpit's full tax report, where it says Capital Gains and Losses Summary 2023. And within that, find the exchange that sent you the Form 1099-B. In my case, that would be Uphold. And then note how much Blockpit says that you made in short-term and long-term capital gain tax with that exchange. Next, you're going to need to go to the actual 1099-B that you received and scroll to the bottom of part 1 and part 2. Now keep in mind, part 1 will be most likely your short-term and part 2 will be your long-term. So it is reported to the IRS. However, it is non-covered, which I don't know what that means, But that does mean that when you make a sales selection, you need to select the second option for short term or this option if it is long term. So now that you know that, I created this document in order to help make it more simplified and easy to understand. So what we can see here is exactly as it is written in the document. So I put uphold on top. I want to look at Blockpit first. So to make numbers easy, we're going to assume that Blockpit says that we only have a proceed of only 850 when you look at just the uphold portion of Blockpit. Now in total, Blockpit in this example is going to say 3,000, but it reports that uphold specifically is only 850 proceeds, 650 cost basis, and 200 gain and loss. While uphold, which is the wrong one in this case, on its 1099-B, it reports 900 proceeds, 500 cost basis, and 400 gain and loss. As you can see, it's $200 off in this example. So how do we correct that? Well, if we go over here, since we know we're supposed to check B if it was short term or E if it was long term, that means that we could make the adjustment on Blockpit. So we can go ahead and do a proceeds of 3,000 since that was the total that we talked about over here, and then we would put 2,000 here. So that means the proceeds minus the cost basis would be $1,000. However, we are also adjusting a negative $400, which brings us to $600, and $600 here plus $400 up here is going to equal the $1,000 to make it so that way the Blockpit one is correct and the uphold one is the incorrect one. So here I'm looking at my Blockpit here on TurboTax, and if you remember, we already had an adjustment that we needed to put. So all we would need to do is add the new adjustment to it. So in this case, I would need negative 947 and 8 cents. So that's the easy one. That's the most common one if you receive a 1099-B and Blockpit is correct and the 1099 that the exchange gives you is wrong. But there is a small chance that maybe you need to check box A or D instead of B and E. And in that case, you would do something similar. Since A and D says short-term basis reported to the IRS, you're going to have to make the adjustments on the 1099-B and on Blockpits. Adjust both of them. So let me show you that. So to me, we're looking down here right now. It's a little more confusing, but still manageable. So what you're going to do instead is still report the proceeds and cost basis exactly as they are written on the 1099-B. Then you're going to need to use code O because you're going to have an adjustment. And this adjustment is going to be calculated by taking what Blockpit reports for the exchange. In this case was $200. And then subtract the gains and loss reported by the 1099, which is 400. 200 minus 400 is negative $200. So you're going to have an adjustment of minus $200. And then that adjustment is going to give us $200 because it's 900 minus 500 minus your adjustment. And then it equals $200, which equals the same amount that Blockpit has given us as a gain loss. Now we are reporting this twice. We're reporting $200 on uphold and we're still reporting the $200 on Blockpit. So in order to take care of that, we are going to add an adjustment as well to Blockpit. So we take code O and we do minus $200 because that is how much we reported right here was $200. So minus $200, and that equals $800. If we take $800 plus $200, it equals the 1,000. And now we're not double reporting anything. So that is how you handle 1099-Bs. If you have any questions specifically about 1099-Bs, I want to ask in the comments down below. I would contact a professional, so definitely consider contacting Crypto Tax Audits. Like I mentioned before, they know what they're doing and they are certified. I'm just a YouTuber trying my best to file my own taxes and sharing with you how I'm doing it. Now, the next thing I would consider doing with your 1099-B is to keep track of any math that you've done. So as you can see, I wrote this all out. So maybe you'll get out a spreadsheet on Excel or something, or Google spreadsheet, and you type out all the math. So that way, if you ever get audited, you'll have a copy of all the math that you did, and you won't have to redo all the math to try to figure out why you did what you did. If you typed in everything correctly, the IRS should already have a copy of this 1099-B since it was reported to the IRS, so there's no need to upload a file. However, you do need to upload Blockpit's file, which if you haven't done so already, be sure to. So there you have it. I hope that I was able to help you file your Blockpit cryptocurrency taxes onto TurboTax. Go ahead and finish the rest of your TurboTax. Go ahead and also do your state taxes. Finish everything up on TurboTax. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you want to see more helpful content like this. I do a lot of research and dedication to make this video to make sure I'm thorough as well. If you have any questions at all about cryptocurrency taxes, then definitely go check out CryptoTaxAudit, as that they are professionals in this field and are going to be better than me, some YouTuber, talking to you about how to file cryptocurrency taxes. And if for some reason you don't have Blockpit yet, then use my link down below and get 15% off your very first purchase on Blockpit. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always guys, stay safe, trade safe, watch out for scams, and God bless. Peace. So the first thing you're going to need is your Blockpit's Blockpit's